Hi guys, this is a walkthrough of some of the selected questions for Set A, NAS 2021 Prelim, Pure Chemistry. Question number 1. Chemical reaction produces a gas that can be collected using the above apparatus. So this is actually outward delivery. And the outward delivery method to collect gas is to collect gas which is less dense than air. Okay, it is to collect gases which is less dense than air. And from the mind map, you should know that the MR for air, it's around 29. Okay, so for oxygen, the MR is 16 times 2, which is 32. So it cannot be oxygen. Oxygen is more dense than air. Okay, hydrogen is less dense than air. This is water. This is also water. Okay, they are not gases. So the answer is B, because hydrogen is less dense than air. Question number 2. A liquid is thought to be pure ethanol. Okay, best way to test its purity. So remember, pure substances have fixed boiling and melting point. So the best way is to measure its boiling point. Number 3, okay, the boiling points of 3 gases are given, and the mixture of the gases at negative 250. So they are all heated from negative 250. So you need a number line like this. It is heated up to negative 160 degrees Celsius. And the boiling points of the different gases, negative 196, this is actually the nitrogen boiling point, and then negative 183, which is the oxygen boiling point, and finally negative 108. Negative 108 is above negative 160, negative 108 degrees Celsius, which is the boiling point for xenon. Okay, the question say which element are still liquid state at negative 160. So below boiling point, the gas exists in liquid state. Okay, above boiling point, it is the gas. So negative 180 is below the boiling point of xenon. So net xenon at negative 160 is a liquid. Okay, whereas for oxygen and nitrogen, since negative 180 is above both the boiling points, the oxygen and nitrogen at negative 160 are gases. So therefore the answer is xenon. Question number 7. So 3 substances, P, Q, and R. Let's look at each substance. So each substance, you're supposed to classify them into compound, element, and mixture. Okay, the first substance, percentage composition by mass is constant. So this one cannot be a mixture, because mixture, the composition actually varies. Electrical conductivity when solid. Yes, so there is only one type of substance which conduct electricity when solid, and that is actually metal. Metal can conduct electricity when it is in solid state. Ionic compound, only aqueous and molten state. That means liquid state. Okay, whereas a covalent substance does not conduct electricity. So effect of heat, solid burns in air to form an oxide. So for example, sodium, burns in air to form sodium oxide. So P is an element. It's a metal, which means that P is an element. So either C or D. Then we look at Q. Percentage composition by mass varies, so this one must be a mixture. Liquid burns to form carbon dioxide and water. So when it burns, it combines with the oxygen to form carbon dioxide and H2O. So your Q must be so based on this information, your Q could be a mixture, could be a compound. But because the percentage composition by mass varies, so your Q must be a mixture. It cannot be a compound, because compound percentage composition by mass is a constant. Then finally for R, solid decomposes. So up to P, after we have looked at P and Q, right, we know already the answer must be D. But again, we look at if you have time, you should look at R again. R, so solid decomposes to form 2 products. So for example, calcium carbonate, all right, decomposes, right, to form calcium oxide and carbon dioxide when you heat it. So there's a thermal decomposition. So R is a compound. Question 22. So these are the indicators as well as the color change. The color change of the indicator, as well as the pH where the color changes take place. And this is the titration. So you can see that the pH versus the volume of NaOH added. So from this graph here, we can tell that the endpoints happens over a range of pH from pH 4 all the way to pH 10. So this is actually the this is where the end point of the titration happens over a range of pH from 4 to 10. So as long as the indicator changes color any point from pH 4 to pH 10, as long as the indicator changes color over this range of pH, the indicator can be used for this titration experiment. So which indicator can be used to identify the endpoint of this titration? So we can see here is methyl orange, promothymol blue, as well as phenolphthalein, because all three indicators changes color from pH 4 to pH 10. Question 38. Okay, energy given out by 4 compounds when they are burned completely. So let's take a look at the first one. So this is actually the amount of energy released, or the amount of energy given out when 1 mole of this compound is burned. But the question wants when 1 gram of this compound. So 1 mole, what is the mass? The mass is actually the mR. Okay, so in order to find out the amount of energy released per gram, you have to divide this number by its mR. So, and that would give you 35.8 kilojoule per gram. And likewise, we'll do the calculation for the second compound divided by 46, and that will give you 30.4 kilojoule per gram. And then this one divided by 16, that will give you 56.25, and then 2200 divided by 44, and that would give you 50 kilojoule per gram. Okay, so the least amount of energy, and that the answer would be the second compound, C2H5OH, which is ethanol. Question 39, an ester. So if you react the alcohol with acid, it will form ester, which means that the number of carbon atoms, the total number of carbon atoms of alcohol and acid would equal to the number of carbon atoms for the ester. So this ester has 4 carbon atoms. So ethanol, 2 carbon atoms, ethanoic acid, 2 carbon atoms. So 2 plus 2, 4. So this could be the alcohol, and the acid could be ethanoic acid. So these two, okay. How about methanol? 1 carbon, butanoic acid, there will be 4 carbons, so cannot be, because total there are 5 carbons, and this ester only has 4 carbon atoms. So 2 it's out. How about 3 propanol, 3 carbon atoms, methanoic acid, 1 carbon atom. So total 4 carbon atoms. So the answer is 1 and 3 only. So just need to look at the total number of carbon atoms between the alcohol and the acid, and that should be the number of carbon atoms for the ester. Okay, question 40. Okay, so this polyacrylamide is used to manufacture soft contact lenses. So this is actually the polymer of, this is actually the structure of the polymer. Which statement about the polymer is correct? Now, let's look at the first statement. It is formed by addition polymerization. So this structure, it's very clear that this is the repeat unit. So this is repeat unit because this is the same as this, and this is the same as this. So this is the repeating unit. So all the repeating units are the same. So meaning that it must be an addition polymerization, because addition polymerization is formed from one type of polymer, one type of monomer. Okay, so for example, polyethylene. Okay, the monomer is ethene, only one type of monomer. So it is formed by addition polymerization. It contains ester linkages. What is ester linkages? Ester linkages is COO. That means C double bond O, single bond O. Is there a C double bond O, single bond O here? Don't have. And then the molecular formula of its monomer is like this. So all you need to do is to add up all the number of carbon atoms here, all the hydrogen atoms, and all the oxygen as well as nitrogen. So how many carbon? 1, 2, 3. So C3. How many hydrogen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 hydrogen atoms, and then 1 nitrogen, 1 oxygen. So this is the molecular formula of its monomer.